Chris Lee and Blake Lovell here to react to Missouri's 76-65 win over Utah State in the NCAA tournament. Congratulations to Blake's client, Dennis Gates. Blake, that is Missouri's first win since 4 coaches ago. Can you believe that? As good as Missouri's been in basketball,
Yes, I can.
Mike Anderson was the last coach
Sorry, I can't believe
to
it.
win a game as Missouri's coach since 2010.
I can believe it
the
because
NCAA
they've been on a bit of a drought in the NCAA tournaments. I think it's been well discussed at this point, but no longer the case as they get the win over Utah State. We talked about it. Came in as the underdog in this game. I thought they would lean into that a bit, as you and I talked about, as me and Rory talked about on Wednesday. You just kind of expected that, and they did. They fully leaned into being the underdog. And now, look, let's call it what it is. I mean, Utah State did not shoot the ball well, but I know there's going to be people on that side that may say, well, it's just because we didn't make shots. That's part of it. I also think Missouri did a better job probably than some of us would have expected in terms of rotating a bit, putting themselves in a position. Now, there were times where I'm watching this game in the second half, and I'm like, oh boy, they come down. Missouri's lost on defense. Like they're struggling, kind of switching, and there's a guy open somewhere. And again, this is a team where you pretty much trusted a lot of different guys to be able to hit shots, but it just didn't happen. Funk went 2 of 10, Ashworth went 2 of 10, and hey, you play that game over that many times, maybe those guys hit a few more shots. It's a little bit different, but the fact is they did not. And that's the way the game works. And that's what we said, Chris. We talk about teams like Utah State, Penn State, maybe another example we talk about later on when they play A&M. Teams that really are so good from three, but you get one bad game, and this is what can happen. And again, give Missouri a lot of credit because I thought they at least made it difficult. It wasn't just having to rush it wasn't just wide open stuff. It was having to rush things at certain times, just because you had guys flying all over the place and feeling like there's a little more pressure there, maybe than you're used to. And second half, I mean, what else do you say about what Kobe Brown and Demoy Hodge did? They just hit some huge shots. I mean, Kobe Brown hitting a big. I mean, think about this too. They hit shots with guys in their face. Like they were just, we're going to hit these shots and try to stop us. Like that's kind of what it was in the second half with those two guys. And yeah, just so impressed. But I also don't want to discount some other stuff. Like, I mean, I thought Sean East, right? He made a couple big plays down the stretch. Hit a couple baskets. And it's been a struggle at times, but I think just making a couple of those baskets, hitting a couple big free throws. I think Noah Carter gave them some good minutes. Golston had 11. Honor hits, his big, of course, Chris, like Nick Honor's biggest shot comes when, like when you really need it the most, that's what you'd expect. But like, that's this team, guys just stepping up in the big moments. And that's exactly what we saw in this game. So
I remember last week you and I were sitting courtside at Missouri's game with Tennessee, and I think I just posed the question to you. Game's on the line. Who you want taking the shot, Kobe Brown or Demoy Hodge? It was a tough question, and both of them really showed out that day. Well, for a while, it was Kobe Brown. He scores, I think, 12 points in a row, and then Hodge takes over, hits a big 3 or 2 back-to-back, and I think those two scored 20-something straight points of their own, and then East makes a big bucket. I think, was that the one with the shot clock running down? I can't remember. Or maybe it was the one that Honor hit. But and then Honor had, I think, maybe the biggest sequence of the game. Remember, he comes from behind and picks the guy's pocket on the baseline, and I think Hodge hit a 3 on the other end. And that was kind of the point at which the game was over. But it was really Hodge and Brown again, just doing what they'd done so many times. And Brown was the guy that really took over when the game was in the balance. I think Utah State had tied it or gone ahead, and he scores like 12 in a row. And really from that point on, Utah State was never able to really get in position where you thought it was going to win the game again.
Yeah, and that's like we said. I mean, you knew if Utah State was going to win the game, it was going to have to come via making some threes, and they just couldn't do it. I mean, they had some looks there late, and give Missouri credit too, because like the way that second half started, you started to see the momentum swing in the favor, of Utah State a bit, and I almost feel like it was the technical foul that really, I think it's
Oh
Honor missed the
yeah,
2 free throws, but Honor misses the 2 free throws after the technical foul, and you're
missed
thinking,
them both.
man, thinking, oh boy, like that's the kind of opportunity you give Utah State, a team that can shoot like that. And I was sitting there thinking, man, you may look back at those free throws and think that was it. If he just could have hit one or two, maybe that swings it, but it didn't happen. Again, I think they came. I want to say did they come out and they either made a 2 or 3 after that? I don't remember, but, yeah, so I think at every turn, anytime you felt like Utah State was maybe about to grab some momentum or, I know they took the lead there. I can't remember exactly, at certain points, but you just felt like Missouri came down and had an answer. Like they had an answer every single time, and, that's what teams have to do to advance in this tournament. You cannot put yourself in a position where you have too many bad possessions in a row. And Missouri, listen, they had some bad possessions, but they didn't let, 2 bad possessions turn into 3 bad possessions and 3 bad possessions turn into 4 bad possessions. Like they kept finding an answer at least somewhere in there. Was the shot selection always perfect? Probably not. Were there some times where, they didn't rotate over and left guys wide open for threes? Yes. But it's a survive and advance tournament, and the
Yeah.
breaks fell their way, and they took advantage of it. And that's all you can say and all you can ask for, I think, if you're Dennis Gates, because, as we said, this was the kind of team everybody was talking about. Well, you don't want to see Penn State. You don't want to see, those other kind of 10 seedish type teams. Utah State, we felt like it was really about, are they going to make shots? Is Missouri going to defend? I think Missouri came out from the start. The defense was there, and I just think that was what it was always going to be about. It's just, were they going to defend to the level they need to defend at, and maybe have a little help with Utah State not making shots, and also hit some shots of their own. Remember, we talked about that too. We said Missouri's been a team, we know they can make shots, but it hasn't always been there consistently away from home. They shoot 51% from the floor. They go 10 of 25 from three. Boom. Like that's the recipe for success. So
Yeah, and Missouri is going to leave guys open at times, taking gambles. But we've seen it
yeah,
all
it
year,
happens.
and there were times Utah State got some easy buckets, but Missouri also comes out ahead in turnovers, 15-10. Lost the rebounding battle. That's nothing new there. But I think the 3-point shooting, Missouri hits 40%, and Utah State hits what, 4 of 24, 17%. That was obviously, if you know that going in, you pretty sure Missouri's going to win the game, and of course it did. Anything else on this one before we maybe take a quick peek ahead to what lies around the corner for Missouri?
Well, I mean, again, I just thought it was a total team effort. I know, Hodge and Brown hit some huge shots, but like I said, I don't think you can discount just some plays here or there that all kind of added up to give them that opportunity to be in the spot they were in at the end of the game. So yeah, I mean, I thought the guys that played, I mean, really what it was basically 6 guys that played the majority of the minutes. It was, Brown, Hodge, Honor, Golston, Carter, and East. I know, Diarra played even maybe a couple minutes early. Shaw came in, I know, when they were in foul trouble, but then he got, I think a couple fouls of his own. So yeah, I mean, credit to all those guys. I mean, they hey, again, they made the plays, and that's what you have to do in these kind of scenarios. And just I said, man, I just thought that this team has had a chip on its shoulder, being the underdog, as the 7th seed, the only SEC team that was an underdog on the opening lines and those kind of things. I have no doubt that that fed into it. But before we even go into the Arizona game, just think about this though. Like they are a win away from the Sweet 16. And, we talked about just kind of the turnaround and all of that. And I think we were kind of laughing about, um, just sort of what was it, the Gates comment he made in the SEC tournament, I think going into the tunnel or whatever. Not bad.
Dissatisfied.
Well, yeah, but like he also said going into the tunnel, he said something like not bad for a bunch of mid-major guys. But he's right. I mean, really think about that. Like, yeah, they've got Kobe Brown, but like really think about just what they put together to get to this point. And now knowing that you are in a scenario where you're one win away from the Sweet 16, picked 11th in the SEC to start the season. Man, it's remarkable. I mean, you know what I'm going to say. Like credit to the players, but man, credit to the staff as well. Credit to Dennis Gates and what they've done, because they have got these guys in position to be in position to go to the Sweet 16. So
Yeah, one more little footnote from the game today. Missouri gets early foul trouble. Brown has 2. I think it was East and Shaw each had 2. I know it was Shaw for sure. And Missouri survives it. Like you said, only played 8 people today. Brown didn't pick up his 3rd till late in the game, at which point it was just about immaterial. So that was another thing Missouri needed to do, but did today. Boy, I can't wait to see that Arizona game, presuming Arizona gets by Princeton, because those are 2 offensive-heavy teams that can really shoot it. To me, that is the fun of March Madness. It's those shootout games more than it is the grinded-out games. And my goodness, we are going to get one of those, I think, coming up on Saturday if it all goes to plan.
Well, hey, if you're a Missouri fan, listen, I know you won a great game against Arizona, but I'd be rooting for Princeton. Because I think that's I don't know. That's going to be a tough one if it is Arizona that advances, but nothing's off limits right now as we record this because we're only Chris, basically like 3 or 4 full games into the tournament now, and we've already had the Wild Virginia Furman game.
Oh, my
Um,
goodness.
we've got
What an ending.
West Virginia and Maryland was a grind.
Until it
Game
wasn't.
1 always is, but yeah, Kansas. I mean, Alabama's got 54 points at halftime here against Corpus Christi, but yeah, I mean, look, if you're looking ahead, if you're Missouri fans, obviously the expected matchups against Arizona, we talked about them when we talked about the draw. I mean, it's a great offensive team, just a fantastic offensive team that has, to me, a lot of the elements you look for in a team that can make a Final Four and play for a national championship. They're very efficient on offense in a lot of areas. Not, they're 13th in the nation from 3, second in 2-point percentage. They've got experience, they've got size, they got a lot. And I think the rebounding aspect is one thing that already jumps out on the page if you're looking at this game, knowing what Arizona is going to sport. Chris, 6'11", 7 foot. And so, those are some of the things that you're definitely looking at in a game like this. I've been really impressed with what Tommy Lloyd's done, former Gonzaga assistant. And so it will be a challenge if that is the case. But hey, guess what? We'll talk about Arizona a lot more once that game is official. Or, Chris, it could be Tigers versus Tigers with Missouri and Princeton. We'll see.
It's the NCAA tournament. You never know. But we will react to every SEC game. We'll
Hold on,
predict
Chris.
every SEC game.
Hold on. I got something
Oh.
for you before we finish up here. Now, let me
Oh,
say before I feature this, I got 2 things to
I
feature
better know.
actually. Hold on. Let me say something real quick. So, Missouri fans we're all in. Like, you cannot pick us, and I didn't. Of course, I picked Utah State. Don't worry. I know what my contractual obligations are. However, I went as far as to doing something I have not done this season, Chris. I not only picked against Missouri, I bet the most money I've bet on a game this season against Missouri. And my bank account is smaller for it now, but I did it for you guys. I bet on Utah State, and I did it because I wanted to give you all the mojo I could. So I was pushing it all your way. So if anybody has, some money, just maybe leave a super chat for my bet if you don't mind. Like, that would really help. But no, I tried to go all in on helping Missouri fans out. So don't worry. Not only did I pick against you, I bet against you too. So if you question my dedication, Chris, please. So, all right, I've got 2
Missouri,
comments.
I did pick Missouri, which is one of the few things I've gotten right so far. I lost Virginia, and I lost West Virginia.
Yeah,
Not
I
a good
missed
day
those.
if you had Virginia in your name.
Missed those 2. All right, I'm pulling up a couple comments here, and then we'll be wrapping up. But let me see where this is. We know what one of them is going to be. The memes are already in full display here. So we're going to start with the one and only Ms. True, who is back with some more fine handiwork, Titanic style here, with Jack and Rose playing the part of Jack is going to be head coach Dennis Gates. Playing the part of Rose is going to be yours truly. So, I mean, hey,
Cannot see that.
It's a I'll never let go. Isn't
Thanks,
that the line?
Mr.
I'll never let go. Anyways, so that's one of them. Now we've got another one here, and Rowdy Roddy Tiger which I can appreciate as a wrestling fan, on a spin on Roddy Piper. I can appreciate this comment. I told him I was going to feature it, and he said, "You know what? You go right ahead." And he's just, this is tremendous. So he says, "Blake, we love you. Might be hammered at 3 p.m., but still, what a glorious day." And then he responds below, "Please feature my comment. I'm getting Dennis tattooed on my left cheek right now." So enjoy that, Roddy. That sounds like a fun time, but enjoy it.
Which cheeks? I don't. Never mind. I don't want to know.
Let's not ask. You know which cheek it is. Come on, please. What an enjoyable experience that is. How about this? If they go to the Sweet 16, I will get one as well. I'll get one on the right, and then we've got matching cheeks, matching Dennis cheeks. So there you go. Listen, that's what happens when Missouri gets to the round of 32. It's been 4,007, however many days it's been. So we have a little fun here at Southeastern 14. So there you go, Chris. Now you can wrap it up. Now we're good. So
yeah. If alcoholism involved, see our friends at Bearded Iris. How's that for a segue?
Yes. And we don't have any tattoo shops sponsoring us just yet, but that may be soon. If you own a tattoo shop, let us know. So
oh my.
Oh.
I'm just gonna.
If they win the national championship, Chris, I'm gonna call it right now. And I realize what's happening, but if they win the national championship, we're gonna be live. We're gonna record live from a tattoo shop near you. And
if they win the national title, we need to come to do a live show in a tattoo parlor in Columbia.
Yes, any Columbia tattoo parlors. We will be there live, and you're gonna see me get the tattoo of all tattoos. So there you have it. All right. We got more games to watch.
All right. Let's just end this now before it goes.
We will have a preview of the next game, so that'll be coming tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll have our preview video as we do for every game. So we'll have Missouri versus Arizona or Princeton. We'll have our preview video tomorrow. So
a tattoo-free preview. Do you have any tattoos?
If you only knew, Chris. If you only knew.
Maybe
no,
I don't. Neither do I. All right. Thanks for watching. Go get your dentist tattoos. While you're doing it, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button if you like this. That helps us out on our analytics. He's Blake Lovell. I'm Chris Lee. No tattoos coming yet, but lots more SEC basketball content. Again, we'll react to all the games. We will predict the ones ahead. Thank you for watching. Congratulations to Dennis Gates of Missouri. We'll see you again soon at Southeastern 14.